It turns out there's a new flavour of diluted juice and it comes in the shape of Graeme Souness. Welcome back to Fog Football. Technically, it is diluted, but at the end of the day here, let's talk about his comments and break it down because Martin O'Neill has called out Graeme Souness and he said that he's actually diluted himself. It's incredible. But we all kind of know what Graeme Souness has said the past few days, but just to recap on his comments before we dive into Martin O'Neill's response. This is Graeme Souness's words, not mine. And I quote, "No doubt about it, there is a gap. But that gap, for me, looking at it, is that Celtic have better strikers. Those stats are not suggesting they're absolutely turning up with Miller and Rangers at Parkhead. We finished last year second behind Celtic. At the end of the season, they spent 28 million. We spent 14, and they brought in a lot of money. So we're chasing them, but we're spending half the amount of money in the summer months. There is a gap. Rangers are not in a hefty, healthy financial situation right now. Celtic are in a much better financial situation that allows them to go out and cherry pick players, whereas Rangers are buying under pressure, where everyone they buy has to come in and do a job right now. That's a difficult situation to be in." End of quote. Here, did a live stream last night talking about Souness. He said other comments like, "Oh, Rangers need 50 million." But does it pain Souness so much to turn around and say that Celtic were just the better team? And that's what actually does annoy me, right? See this delusion, right? Where if you give your fiercest rivals any credit, makes you less of a fan of the club you support. It's one of the most ridiculous takes you'll ever have in life. If you go through life thinking that, then I don't know what to say to you. It's like, I'm not saying you have to sit there and, wax lyrical about certain players, but, it's like Celtic fans saying that Rangers have never been good in their history. It's like, oh, Ali McCoist was pish, Gaza was pish. It'd be like me turning around and say, oh, Henrik Larsson, King of Kings, man, he was minging. You know what I mean? No, because the reality is they were all good. They were all good. They were unreal, man. They were fantastic, whatever. Superlatives, more words to describe them, I could go on. But sometimes people just need to take the wee tinted specs off and look at it and be like, you know what? We're just not good enough anymore. And I just don't understand why Graeme's... see, according to Graeme Souness, if there's not much in it and, they've got better strikers and wee examples like that, then surely Graeme Souness must be Philip Clement out. Oh, there's not much of a gap there. There's not much of a gap. But Clement's not won in 5 attempts. Oh, aye. Because how's that acceptable? If there's no much of a gap, right, and it can be easily fixed with 50 million and all that malarkey, then why is Clement and the players on that pitch and the board getting away with it then? If there's no much of a gap, it just doesn't make any sense to me. And Martin O'Neill thinks like I think, which is that Graeme Souness is talking absolute pish. And I quote, "He's deluding himself, absolutely, because there is a gap, there is a chasm between them. Yes, in a game over a 90-minute period, they might actually be close. If you're only beaten by 1 or 2-0, then you can make all sorts of thoughts about it being close. But actually, that game last week wasn't close at all. Celtic were far, far better. And the idea that Rangers only spent less money is because of the demise of Rangers for the last number of years. But it's been terrible. It's been really terrible. It doesn't do Celtic any favours, I think, because for Celtic to be really strong and try and compete in European football, for them to be strong, Rangers have got to be strong. And Rangers are not. They're very, very poor. And the side I would think of poor as Rangers side I've known in my footballing lifetime. And the former Nottingham Forest midfielder believed that Rangers showing last season summed up exactly how far they were being from able to challenge Celtic in a meaningful way again. He said, "Their recruitment doesn't look too strong at all. Forget about European football. Just compete at domestic football." And when I talk about a chasm, what I'm talking about is that Celtic have the ability to go away from home and win difficult matches that might cause a problem. Rangers, you could not guarantee them going away from home and getting a result last year. And I know, I'm not putting it down to one fixture, but they had this chance of winning, now turning this gap. They were in a good position to, even after the Celtic game, which they drew, they go to Ross County. They took the lead against Ross County, get beaten. A Rangers side should not be doing that. If I'm looking at it for Celtic guys, you need Rangers to be strong, he explained. You need them to be very, very competitive, and that keeps you strong. End of quote. I agree. Celtic did bottle a lot of games last season as well, but the fact of the matter is this: when it came to crunch time, Celtic won pretty much every game to the end of the season. You know, yeah, did Celtic mess up against Kelly and Hearts numerous times throughout the season? Yeah, but when it mattered, they won. They pumped Kelly 5-0 at Rugby Park to get the title over the line. And Graeme Souness, guys, he just needs to admit it. Rangers just aren't that good anymore. It's shit. I never want to say it, but you know what? It needs to be said. Can't pretend everything's sunshine and roses and all that stuff and ice cream. I feel like it's a certain other thing in ice cream going on right now, and I'm no happy.